So I've tried many aim trainers, all ranging from Kovacs to aim labs, but I think I've found an aim trainer that truly will help you optimize your gameplay for Apex Legends. So if you're a relatively new player, somewhat experienced player, or an experienced player that's really looking to step up their game, I have a great aim trainer that is going to help you guys in the game specifically, that can translate pretty well. Things like Kovacs and aim labs are great for training and developing individual skills such as tracking, click timing, those sort of things. But if you want something that can kind of cover all of your bases, I found a great trainer which is called Apex Aim Trainer. It is $5 on Steam. This aim trainer takes a lot of elements from Apex itself, where it be the guns, the recoil patterns, and somewhat a similar character model, and puts them into a trainer that you can use at ease. And the reason why I believe this is beneficial is because you get the most accurate representation of Apex gameplay in an out-of-game trainer, if that makes sense. So you have access to 3 different maps, which you can also customize and edit as well. You have a 1v1 level that is just a small open area that allows you to take close range 1v1s to fight people. So this is like your close range. You have access to a shooting range, so you can practice at different distances, assuming you want to use the guardrail, because fuck that, I'm a pro, I don't need no guides. So I usually just kind of W key out here and fight them at hand here. And an open training ground that you can, it's like a big open area, and you can just fight as much as you want there as well. Cool thing that I want to point out about these areas, so we'll hop into the training ground real quick, is you can actually go into these maps and place objects. You can make them bigger, wider, and I'm just doing this for ease. So you can make them bigger, wider, smaller. You can save it, go back to the menu, and hit start practice. And these objects will actually be in the game, so you can use this as cover. So you can make your own cover how you want and use that against the training bots as you will. So that's a really sick feature that I like a lot. You can make your own cover, and you can learn to play around cover as well as not. So we're gonna go and talk about each map. So for the 1v1 level, I actually recommend you guys use this as a 1v1 practice instead of just using it as like an open area thing. So what you can do is turn it on to 1v1, put bots to 1, and then if you want to, you can make it so the bot can attack you back. And then you can come in and you can actually take practice and practice your 1v1s here. And this is where the placement of cubes can really come in handy, because you can use them to practice moving and playing around objects in the game. And you can... Oh my god! So you can use this to practice and stuff like that, and this is where this could really come in handy, especially in 1v1s, because you can learn how to play cover, which is really important. I'm gonna be probably making a guide very soon about like how to play cover and like how to better win, like how to win your 1v1s and stuff like that, and like how to play cover around you. But this is gonna be a great intro on like how you can sort of get used to that sort of thing, and learn how to use the terrain around you to the best of your ability. So next, we're going to move on to the shooting range. The shooting range is pretty good as well for practicing distance shots, obviously. So for this one, I like to crank it up to about 3 bots. It's up to you. You can go to like 3, 4 if you really want to around that area. Take off if they can attack, and the rest should be good to go. So for this one, it's really good. You can use this guideline if you want to, but I also sometimes have used this as a training ground as well. So what I mean by that is you can either like you can practice your range. So you can practice range tracking pretty easy here. So what I would sometimes do is I'd say fuck the guidelines. I'll just like honestly run out here and just start W keying everything and just fight at close range. And they spawn at random distances, so you can kind of use that to your ability, like the best of your ability, to kind of like fight and take these like random range, like, because they'll be spawning at random ranges between you. So they can either spawn back here pretty decently far away, depending upon what the parameter that you set for that was. And then you can kind of just flick around. And this is what people most commonly see me do. I usually use this to warm up for tourneys and stuff like this. So on stream, people will see me doing stuff like this when I'm warming up and getting ready for a tourney, since it's really constant tracking their close range. So they can be far away, close, or not. So that's really up to you. That's how I use it. But if you want to use this solely as a range practicer, Like, that's up to you. But again, it's an aim trainer, so if you want to get creative with it, go for it. And that's just how I use it. So I just wanted to put that information out there. So the last thing is we're going to be going over is training ground. And this one, if you want to use it similar to a circumstance of how CS uses it, because this looks a lot similar to CS. If you want to throw objects in here, you can always hit the edit tool and go in here and just throw some random boxes around. That's completely and entirely up to you. For this example, I'm not going to. For this, I'd say maybe crank it up to like 5 bots around there. Again, completely up to you. I would keep the strafe on as it is, and you'll just have like this big open area which all these bots will be spawning around you. And this is really good if you want to just kind of be constantly doing something. So what I mean by that is just constantly like aiming, flicking to the next target, flicking to the next target. Like, so overall, this map's really good if you want to just be practicing like flicks or PK shots, all that kind of shit. Tracking, it's really good. Like I said, this is going to keep you constantly moving. So if you're not looking to practice anything in specific and you kind of just want to overall just practice everything, this map would be really good to do so. And you can practice again with whatever gun you may want. And again, I think you can change your guns in the middle of the game as well. So if you feel like switching it up in the middle of the game, you don't have to back out to the main menu to do so. You can just do it in the middle. And yeah. The map colors, I stick with the Azure. Classic is just like white, so it's kind of hard to tell the differences of everything. So I just stick to Azure. Bots is really up to you. I keep the 3, so that way there's constantly something going on, but not too much to where it's overwhelming. Bot type, I would prefer you use humanoid, but if you prefer spears, you can. Humanoid just gives you the more accurate body model representation, so you're kind of practicing on actual model size. 100 HP, so you got like quick kills, just to keep it quick and keep you constantly moving and aiming. Bot size, I wouldn't touch this. Spawn distance, I would keep this around this range as well. This is more useful and effective for shooting range, so that way they don't spawn too far apart. That's really up to you, whatever range you want to practice. So the next setting is extremely important. This is going to be bot movement. So you can have multiple options here as to how you want the bot to move. If you don't want him to move, if you just want to do a simple strafe, random strafes from crouching and jumping, etc, etc. This is very important, especially for players that are looking to develop. So if you haven't been able to master hitting a target when they're standing still, focus on doing that first and being able to accurately track a target and focus on learning the recoil patterns of the guns. If you're really looking to up your skill and improve your Apex overall mechanics, I think it's very important. I personally use random strafe and crouching. This has the targets randomly strafing back and forth. They're kind of just randomly moving and overextending and like short strafing, etc. As you can see, the targets are doing, there's no set pattern to it. And this is very important, in my opinion, to learn and get better at doing, because a lot of players in Apex Legends, even at like a small, like a lower ranking in silver, begin to use this sort of movement. So if you can learn to accurately track and like kill players while they're doing this sort of crouching and spam movement, that's very important to nail down early in your Apex, and that's going to put you far ahead in mechanics. So I think it's very important, once you master the recoil patterns, to use this setting as well. The jump seems a little weird in the tracker, as well as not a lot of players do it. Some players do. I just feel like you'd get more results quicker out of just sticking to random strafe and crouching. It's a little bit more realistic. Usually your enemy doesn't really jump until they first begin the fight, so they'll kind of like run in the fight, jump, and then they start AD crouching. So just practicing in the middle of the fight could be beneficial, and I think you should just focus on the random AD strafes and the crouching, since it happens way more frequently in Apex than just someone spam jumping around the fucking map. Next, we have the bot speed. This is really up to you. You can do whatever you want. I keep mine on walk to keep it pretty easy to learn to track, but you have several options here of like sprinting, wraith ulting, or octane stims of the targets. So you can see they like really start boosting up and speeding around. If you want to do that, that's fine, but I've actually never turned this on before, so it's funny to see it. I don't think you should use this setting. Just keep it on walking or sprinting if you really want to practice fast movement. But I definitely wouldn't use the octane stims and stuff like that, I would just leave it on like walking or something like that. The bot attacking, I would keep this off because you dying is just going to be a waste of time when you can be practicing when you just keep falling over. Health bars, I would show just so you know how low your target is. If you don't want it, that's purely up to you. This stuff is up to you. Hit markers, they can kind of be annoying. If you really care about it, you can have it to see how many shots you hit, but personally I would just leave this setting off. I don't use this. Bullet trail, I think it just kind of clouds your screen. I don't see a point in doing that. IMO, I would just personally leave that setting off. So you have access to 2 slots of weapons as you do in the normal game. You're going to be practicing your main gun. So as you can see, you have options to every pretty much main gun in the game. So for this, I usually use Massive R9. Those are my main guns in Apex. So I usually just keep that loadout on that. Actually, I should have this accurate to my actual loadout, which is like this. So this allows you to do is you're allowed to select whatever gun you want, and you can select the attachments that are on the gun. So for me, I always pick level 2, which is your blue attachments. And the reason why I pick level 2, and I even do level 2 when I go into the training grounds in Apex itself, is because you're going to find blues the most often. So that's what you're going to be more often than not, you're going to be running blue attachments in game. So I wouldn't get used to like having level 3, like a purple and a purple mag and stuff like that. I would just get used to having the average stuff, which is usually blue. If you want to dummy that down and even go to level 1, that's completely and entirely up to you. You guys can obviously customize as much as you want. Same thing with the Mastiff that I'm using here. I'm going to keep that on level 2 because it's most common, and turn ultra fast reload off. So you can completely customize and select the attachments of whatever gun that you would like to use in the list. So the next 2 things is you can set up your game settings and your keybinds down here. The settings page is a little bit clunky. So like you can only access like backing out and saving. You always have to scroll to the bottom, so it's important not to forget that, because like you'll be here and you're like, okay, how do I get out of here? And pressing escape doesn't do anything, and pressing apply doesn't do anything. So don't forget to scroll down, because that's the only way you can back up. So make sure you basically copy and paste all your Apex settings in here. I use 110 FOV personally. These settings are kind of up to you. You can copy and paste them from Apex, but I don't think that matters that much since this is a completely different game. Audio, that's up to you, doesn't matter. I would turn it down a little bit because I think it'll get annoying to hear the noises repeatedly after a while, but if that doesn't bother you, then do whatever you want. And then just copy and paste your Apex settings, and these are my personal Apex settings. I use 1.5 in-game sensitivity, and ADS I leave at default, which is 1. So you save that, go back, and then you can set up your controller if you have aim assist because you're bad at the game. Just kidding. Doing challenges and practice is completely up to you. With challenges, you have about a minute to just get whatever high score you can. So if you really care about like beating scores and stuff like that, I personally am not a big fan of it. I don't really care about that stuff. But if you do, you can always do the 1-minute challenges and then write down your scores and try to beat your scores to see that you're improving. So that is gonna wrap up this aim trainer video. I hope you guys did enjoy it. And again, I really confidently believe that if you're looking to overall improve your Apex game, this aim trainer is probably one of the best options to do so. So if you have an extra $5 and you're really looking to step up your Apex game, highly recommend this aim trainer. Not sponsored, unfortunately. Just trying to help you guys improve your game. So thank you guys for watching. I appreciate that. Leave a like if you guys did. Sub if you're new. And I'll see you guys soon.